Welcome, international folks, and in between folks, local folks, national folks, yeah, folks, my folks, our folks, patches galore, batches galore. Watermelon vs. Pumpkin podcast. That's right, Watermelon vs. Pumpkin podcast. Okay. I am Young Pastry. That's Little Mattress, or Five, or Raps, or whatever you want to call it. It is what it is, and this is what we do. We do things and we say stuff. And this time around, through our whole flow of it, we ran away from our current event stuff for the last couple months. For those that do listen and know, that's what we've been doing. Events will happen. They'll come again. Right now, we are going through our holiday flow and getting into the
extravaganza.
Season. You know what I mean? We're trying to absorb something out of that is nothing right now for 2020. It's been a shitty year. A lot of shit's going on. Listen, we are aware and paying attention to the world, but at this current moment, we are trying not to and trying to help you, the listeners, have a better feeling in your heart and jump on some of these movies that we've been watching for the last couple months. 'Tis the season, my people. Christmas time is now, and that's kind of what we tackled. First one was what was the first one we did? It's a Wonderful
Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. Number two was Scrooged with ED, 1989, Bill Murray version of the Christmas Carol out there. Shout out to my cousin Harold. Where out there.
They put whiskey in barrels. Egyptians had pharaohs.
Okay. Egyptians had pharaohs, and now they're cats. So bam. Now we are on to week 3 of the movies for the holiday, or movie 3, I should say, on the holiday swing. And we chose the classic 89 too?
Ooh, was it 89? This was, December 1st, 1989.
So this actually banged out with Scrooged. I like it. These guys went head to head in the box office. That'd be a good number to pull up there. I bet you who probably won that one. That'd have been great. That was unintentional, not really even knowing that we might have picked some class competition right there. Mm-hmm. But this was Chevy Chase, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. If you don't know about it, you should know about it. National Lampoon's was a big, it's a series of movies, actually. They have a couple of them. They even have ones that came out later on for the newer ears and younger generation. They know about them, Camp Wilder and all the other great stuff. But that's what we chose, and we checked it out and rehatched that. Now, this is one I usually watch holiday time. So this is one of the ones I look forward to Christmas time myself. But even though I watched it enough, watching it again is always new things that jump out to me. So, you know what I mean? It's always good to have a fresh mind on these things,
I think it's something that grows with you as you get older. Sometimes you catch some of the jokes that you didn't catch before. And one of the things while I was watching the movie that just hit me, it was like, this is a masterpiece, and it's so tough to, I don't know if anyone ever goes out with the intention of making a movie like this, but imagine making a movie to where somebody can watch it literally every year and not get tired of it. Like at no point, because I this is probably my 20th, 25th time watching this movie, ever.
Right.
And there was never a point where I'm like, all right, man, is this on? No.
It's like, I can't, why did I even put this on? There's never that moment.
It's great every time. There isn't one time. It doesn't matter that I know what's going to happen. It does not matter. It's still just
and
good.
That's when you know you got a classic on your hands. And it's funny you say that, because I always wonder that, like you said, when you're making these movies, do you say like, I got one, it's a classic, it's going to work? Or does it like, hey, we'll see what happens? And then the shit just takes off. Like you said, 30 years later, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Boom, here it is.
I wonder,
it's still strong as a classic,
Yes. I wonder too, because while you're making it, maybe it's a good movie, but then especially back in the day, there was all the extracurriculars with promotion, when it drops, who's putting it out, are they putting enough money into promoting this to make sure that as many people as possible see it, are you going on all the talk shows to promote it how you're supposed to? I think there's a lot of extracurriculars, but as long as they make a good product, hopefully that means that, it'll stand the test of time. Because we know about plenty of movies where like, yo, this movie's amazing. And how many people have just never heard of it,
Right,
But
right. The 10,
the 10,
another
yeah.
one. Yeah, that's good. I mentioned that to a lot of people, man. That never hits anybody's radar, man. And it's not like
No.
Paul Rudd's not a name, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So that's, I think, just all the stars have to align, which of course it did on this. And back in the day, that it carries some weight now, but National Lampoon's carried a whole lot of weight back in the 80s. So
Right.
it had the right tag. I think everything just happened at the right time.
And it's crazy because that was right before the new decade, man. 89,
Yep.
90, man. That was like, man, that was like in life shit. There was like a lot of gang shit was heavy around that time, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was hip hop took a change around that time. Shit got a little rougher. Started like, yo, man, starting to get real in these streets. Hold on. But there was these movies right at that split. Scrooged and National Lampoons came out the same year. It makes beautiful sense that why it still resonates as a dope year right now of some movies that came out, if you ask me.
Hell yeah.
Man, 89. And it's funny, the fashion in it all, man. I was checking her out, man. The daughter, she screamed 80s, 90s.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That hair with the earrings. And yeah, that was it.
Juliette Lewis, right? Juliette Lewis, who played the character of Audrey. Yeah, she was...
She played in a lot of stuff, too, going on. And then the little brother, too, as he got older, he played in a couple things.
Oh, yeah. He was in a fucking... What's the biggest TV show of all time? Big Bang Theory. He was one of those.
He was a Big Bang Theory kid.
Yo, Scrooged was 88. Looking it up now, so they missed each other by a year. Because when you said it, it sparked my head of, man, they went head to head on a Christmas movie, because usually there's not,
there's no room for that shit, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's tough. There is no room. Have you ever been, because I know certain people have this, and I'm not judging. My family just didn't do it. Were you ever a family that went to the movies on Christmas Day?
No.
Yeah, me either. Because that
there are some that do. Yeah, right. And then sometimes I think a lot of it too could be people that don't celebrate. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Go to the movies, get some Chinese food.
Yeah.
We're good to go.
Like if
they don't, unless they're cooking, if they don't cook, it's like, hey, if we ain't about to eat and cook, let's get Chinese. The only place that's ordering right now, delivering. So
yeah.
But you get some of these pizza places are now too, because there are a lot of them internationally owned. You know what I'm saying? A lot of Arabic guys, and you know what I mean. A lot of them don't. If you're Muslim owned, it's like they don't like, no, we're not gonna do that. You want food? Yep. I got it. You got money? I got food. Doors are open. You know what I'm saying?
Capitalism. Let's make it happen.
Right. Like my shout out to my spot, my moons.
Man, I swung by there the other day because I had a delivery downtown, and
they're closed.
Man, that the price tag, and no, they don't close.
Well, they actually close earlier now. But go ahead. No,
the price tag on that menu is breaking my heart, man, because I see it go up because my thing used to be the lamb sandwich. You know what I mean? Okay. The lamb steak sandwich. And I remember when it was $4.50, and right now it is $7.90. And I was like, oh,
price of lamb went up. I know the Wichita-Calls are still, I think they're up a little bit too, but my thing was always the falafel sandwich. That was my jam.
Yeah, they're at $4.50 now.
Are they? Yeah, they were $3.
Yeah, I was gonna say
they're $4.50 right now.
Yep.
But that's
because I remember when a little bit before that, because I remember getting 2 for $5. You know what I mean? Yep. Then $3 was still fine, but now I hadn't been there in a couple of years, and now I was like, oh, it's hitting now. But I just like anything else, I understand inflation, but shit.
Yeah, nah, I know. Shit, man. I just ordered a pizza the other day. We went split and got some pizzas or whatever, and I said, let me get a large. Now there's one establishment, 1 large cheese, and let me get 1 large bacon. Very common order. Yo, the price differential between these fucking pizzas where one topping was insane. Yeah. I said, when he gave me the total price, I said, whoa, how much is what are we talking about? How much is the topping? Yeah. So the cheese was $11 for a large cheese. That's a beautiful price. $11, bro. $16.50 for a bacon. I
Whoa.
said $5.50 for one topping.
Yeah. Are you putting the pound of bacon on there?
Right.
What are we doing?
Yo, what kind of bacon is it, sir? Is this, you know what I mean? Like, what kind of bacon? At
Yeah.
this point, the bacon heads really was like, well, we're just gonna get it. But it wasn't that impressive. What it is they give you a free large. I mean, they give you a free small, but you get that any regardless. You buy, a large cheese, they'll give you a small cheese. I got two. What it is my sis told me if you go in there, they give you two free smalls per large. You get a small if you go in to pick it up.
But it seems like you're paying for it with the
price of that, right?
Yeah,
So if I want to be an asshole, but what I didn't like, it was like, I mean, we are giving you the free small. I said, but you give everybody that, so that's not a deal for me. You know what I mean? I'm just asking why our price of bacon went up,
right? Well, and two, is that the same price for any topping, or was it bacon? Like, is it if you put green peppers on the pizza, do they charge you $5 to put?
Price of peppers went up.
Yeah.
But,
oh man.
But back to Grizzy. Because I want to headbutt them people like he did want to at some point in this movie. If y'all don't know the math or the science of this movie, you need to get involved.
Sometimes if you get the Jelly of the Month Club, you're going to want to headbutt somebody. But this starts off, this throws you.
I want the Jelly of the Month Club.
This throws you a curve off the bat because, like you had said, you had forgot that it starts with animation. It starts with a cartoon with with one of the catchiest songs I've ever heard in my life. You know what I mean? Not this Christmas. Oh, right. It's a nice groove. It fits perfectly in it.
Yep, and the cartoon was bobbing and flowing. Santa had the candy cane phone. It was real.
I like that. That's one of those things again too. I wish that was a full, give me that as a 22-minute, cartoon,
right.
like
make it
the Peanuts,
Right. Make it a thing. Stop playing around with these people. Make it a Trejo classic, bro. Come on.
It was beautiful. So then after that, we
zooms into
zoom
the
in
car.
on them in the car.
Riding. Now, did you ever was that a thing? Did you guys carol like that in the car, singing together?
Absolutely not. Never. I wish.
See, folks, there you go. Live from the pumpkin patch. Not all white people's families all sang in the car and caroled together, okay?
Nope. If anything, it was just somebody was angry and things weren't going right. And because things never went according to plan when you were like, okay, let's go get the tree. It was always some type of bullshit was happening. You know what I mean? That kind of where you're in the background. This is supposed to be a good time where you're almost being forced, like, we are having a good time. But I'm not.
It's like you want. You just want to yell as a kid, like, you guys are killing the Christmas spirit.
For real.
I had it and I lost it because of you guys. Oh yeah.
But yeah, I always remember going.
I've had those. Holiday.
Yep.
Holiday.
But I always remember going to get the tree was never like a happy experience at the end of it. It was, you always went in with good experience, with good anticipation and good expectations, and then it was always some good. My family always had a problem with the whole eyes being bigger than the stomach thing. With what I learned later in life is you go by you, because I'm 6 feet tall. I go by, I get a tree that is my size. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? And that's the best way to do it in your house, because not everybody has, the biggest house. And that would always happen with my mom and my dad. They would always be like, if you're looking up at the tree, that tree's too big for you. You do not need that. You know what I mean? You get a tree that is about your height, or maybe a little bit taller.
I said, well, it would be acceptable if I would say you had a very high vaulted ceiling.
Oh yeah.
It's like, look, that little 6-foot tree ain't gonna look right in here.
Exactly.
At that point, it's understandable. But I hear what you're saying. Like most common households, the ceiling is very standard. You can probably reach it if you run and jump when you're tall enough, or with a broom. You know what I'm saying? If you can broom it.
That was always a problem. It's like then you're pulling it through the door, so you're ripping off 1,000 needles off jump. Then You got to try to trim it. I remember so many times the back of our tree was flat because you had literally cut all the branches off the back of the tree and put it up against the wall. Where I'm just
Right.
like I said, later in life, I finally learned and had to pass along the knowledge to my parents, which is such a heartbreaking thing of like, stop, just get one that's your size and we're good. All you need to fucking do.
But it's that thing. It's like we need a big, similar to this
Just
movie.
like this movie. Yeah.
We need this huge tree. Now we did do. I remember growing up, we did a lot of picking out the tree to cut down. We went to tree farms like that.
We did that. Yep.
Yeah. See now we did enjoy. My pops was big on that one too. We'll get out here, cut the tree, and it was always our own comical family, me and my brother arguing, him yelling at us for arguing. Grab the damn tree, you grab it. I'm like, because we picked whatever fucking fir that was pointy as hell. And
that
was
pine.
One of them was like, I just got pinched the hell up, man. Like, what the hell is going on right now? It didn't feel good. So I'm 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, and we're just arguing. He's the older brother. I'm like, you grab it. You got the fucking skinny part at the top, and I got to put my hands in the middle.
Yeah.
So it was always that is the memory like my mother always has. Her sitting there just looking at us, shaking her head, telling us, "You guys are idiots. Like, cut it out," from afar. While us just like, stop being a baby, just walk and grab it. My pops just grab it, cut it up, pick it up. I'm like, all right. My brother over here laughing, giggling, we arguing. Yeah, those were good Christmas moments, getting a tree. But I don't go cut down right now. I do fresh. I am big on that. But I might fall in a couple of years when, my daughter gets older, perhaps, and we kind of get to that point where it's just like, all right, I would pop up that little fake one over there. No. I don't like to fall to that one because I am big on the smell of the real tree and that.
Yes,
it brings that spirit to me. Of always what I remember growing up and sweeping up the shit afterward.
I agree. I love the real tree. So this starts with them going to get the real tree, and there's some drama on the way there. They're singing, and the kids in the back seat are not trying to have the singing. Then you get the asshole on the road that wants to pass, and they're riding, and they end up underneath a tractor trailer at one point.
Yo, shout out to the move of him going, "Hey kids, look, a deer," and he flips the bird to this guy. Yep. So now they're looking for it. And he's like giving the finger, like, yeah. So when he did that, the guy kind of got around him and, he brake checked him hard. And then he had the little ride around him. He was trying to go at him, and then he ended up underneath the tractor trailer in between the wheels.
Yep.
Which is straight stuntman shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. just worst case scenario situations. And then they get to, it's fun. Everything is over the top to where they're literally going hiking in knee deep snow out into the woods. Everybody's freezing, everybody's having a bad time, and
Dad's excited.
Then Clark Griswold sees it, and there's the moment with the light behind the tree and everything, and oh my god, and there it is, the Griswold family tree.
That's
boom, and then everybody's freezing. Even his voice starts to mess up because his lips start freezing together, and then the what's this, Russ. Then Rusty hits him with the, "You got a saw?" And
the face drop.
That moment of,
how you go to cut down a tree with that saw, Pop? So it just sets the tone for you. Like, if you've never seen this movie, it sets the tone for you how Clark Griswold is off the rip. You know what I mean? This is Clark Griswold.
Grizzy.
Not the brightest guy. He's got a lot of spunk and spirit. And no matter how much his kids were clowning him in the car the whole ride.
Yeah, he's got heart and he's got a spirit. And let me just break this off one time for, who this was written by? John Hughes. I mean, come on. John Hughes with another one that gives that feeling, man. Another one that gives that feeling. So then smash cut to the tree is on top of the car and they're riding home.
Uprooted, nigga. Oh, and that's so funny. I'm like, damn, did I not remember that part of the uprooted part? Like how big uprooted this tree was that was on top of the station wagon. It was insane how big that tree was.
They just leave it up to your imagination of how they got that out of the ground. But those are the things like we were saying, you can watch this movie 20 times and sometimes you pick up the small gems of, oh, that's another nice little
right. I think this was the first time that you when you said that. This is the first time when I watched it this time around that I said, "Oh man, you know what? I really wish they would have showed the process.
Mm.
Show a little bit of the process of but you got to make it funny. It's like, listen, we just got it up. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it."
they do that. Well, imagine how they did that, you know?
Right.
Mhm.
Oh man, but it's the comedy. You got to leave it in there. You got to leave those. You got to leave the mind to have an open box. Like, oh my god, there was so much I could think about how they got
Yep.
that.
So what? So then they're back at the house and they're, of course, arguing with the whole. Is it gonna fit? How are we gonna make it? Is there room?
Right.
All that. So
Oh,
he's
shout out to
trimming.
my favorite line of the trim. Yeah. Oh, with the neighbors, the asshole neighbors. Which
Yes,
she's the girl, the lady from Friends, right?
from
Is that her?
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld. That's the one.
Yep.
Seinfeld. Yeah.
Same thing.
Elaine.
Same.
I know. I feel like the same fan base usually attacks me for
It's
not
it's
knowing.
it's the Pepsi and Coke of white people TV shows. Like they're
I've been verbally assaulted for not understanding a Seinfeld reference.
same thing. Yep. That was one of those. Man, it just. I've seen the
Seinfeld
show.
fans are brutal, man. They're brutal.
I've seen some episodes of the
Episode or
show.
two, maybe. I
It's
think.
some of it's funny to me, but I'm not judging. There's certain people that have
Right.
locked into where this is
Right.
my humor
It's
and this is all
hysterical.
that I know and all that I love.
Right.
Yep.
Right. I didn't find it hysterical. I found parts. I found some stuff funny. I don't think it ever
Yeah.
left me kind of a stitch. I seen an episode or two, but it's like they're like, "Yo, remember that episode where that?" And I'm like, "Nah, I don't." Like the kid
Yep.
I work with, he was doing He goes, "Look, I'm doing the Seinfeld dance. Remember?" I'm like, "No, I don't." And then there was some dance, and he had to show me, and I'm like, "Oh, it was an episode of." Every Seinfeld lover would know this reference because I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
the one in this movie, speaking of her, Elaine from there,
Hmm.
she was the one that did the dance in this episode.
Okay.
Whatever her out of
Yeah.
shoulder.
And
So much.
no joke is funnier than one that you have to explain. It just takes
That's
everything out of it.
terrible.
Of like, oh
And
no,
so
no, no. See, this is what the joke means. You're like, well,
right,
all
but you
right.
see,
If I
because
knew, if I knew, I would.
the common misconception there with these people that are like that is just like, oh no, it's not that you didn't find it funny enough. It's just I need to explain it to you so you understand it and you'll find it funny.
Exactly.
It's no, I just didn't find it as funny as you. You know, it's just like
Yep.
there's a thing as that. You know what I mean? It's
But so their characters were like the snobby neighbor next door and with amazing names. Her name in this movie was Margot Chester, and she was
Margot.
with Todd Chester. Just horrible names, man.
They were just
Names that will
two
aggravate you immediately.
right. The neighbors that were, obviously they were family based. Just them two, no kids. They didn't, you know what I'm saying? Very snobby. It's oh my god, I gotta air it out. I have cousins like this.
Yeah.
On yeah, where they're kind of prissy as a couple together. They never wanted
Hmm.
kids. This is fine. That's respectable. But they have this. Oh God, they like to travel. He works for a big banking place, and it's one of those kind of deals. Like oh, and I was like, I know this. I relate. I know these
Yep.
people.
That's what makes it work so well.
I just tied that in. I know those personality kind of people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was a neighbor they came home to when he was trimming the tree.
Yeah.
So he comes out with the fucking Jason mask on,
Hmm.
the hockey mask with the chainsaw, just like a goon for no reason. And the neighbors are out there looking at him, and I think he said, "Does he think it's gonna fit? Is it too big?" Or he said, "You think it's gonna fit?" See, what was great about Clark was he was that very like he had this very pushover feel about him, but he had that fire to him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like
yeah.
he talked his shit. You know what I'm saying? He was like kind of like you would think like he's the bubbly. Hey, come on, kids, it's Christmas time. Let's sing together. But then he had some shit like, man, fuck you. He had that kind of
Hmm.
balance. I think is the
He
word
was
I'm
still
looking
talking
for.
shit. Yeah.
Right. So the neighbor when that was the line for me with the whole. He goes, what? He goes, so it's gonna fit. He goes, once you bend over, find
We'll
out.
find out.
Oh, you gotta be so rude. He goes, I wasn't talking to you. Kaya! It's one of those that I know as a kid I didn't get that part probably.
Yep.
That I was like, oh, he was talking to her. Oh,
Yeah, that was a
he
quick
not?
slick talk,
Right. It
that
was
type
like,
of stuff.
was he? That I was like confused. Like, well, he's not being disrespectful, or wait? Oh no, he was talking to her. Oh, but what does it mean? The up where?
Yep.
Little nigga. I was 9 years old, 8. You know what I mean? When that shit came out. We want from me.
Yeah, same shit. I was 6 years old when it came out. But hey man, it's one to grow with. That's what I love.
Yeah. It's so many gems and jewels in that box. So
Mm-hmm.
he gets the tree that just does not fit at all, shoved into this fucking corner. Big top is bent like the damn Eiffel Tower. Yo, it was not the Eiffel Tower, the Leaning Tower Pisa, but it was stuffed in this corner, man, and it had twine around it, I guess, because it was hard to tell. It was so fucking huge.
I remember that too, man. I remember putting a nail in the wall and tying a piece of string to it and having it hold up the tree because even if you had the bottom of the base flat, sometimes that tree was just had scoliosis. You know what I mean? It had that crooked spine and the balance was off, and that shit was not standing up for nothing.
Oof. I just went and picked out a tree, and like I said, I'm not. I said it was a big thing, family thing, but it's just, I didn't have my daughter, and it's like, she's the only one that it's like me and you, kid, and it's just, I'm out here cutting a tree. We're just sitting watching me sweat, okay?
But hey, man, but you're creating those memories that you have.
Is.
You know what I'm saying? She's gonna remember that forever, which is a good thing.
Yeah. I get the real one, but this one I just kind of picked out from. I went to Lowe's. Lowe's. I went to Lowe's and I picked out a what the fuck? It begins with an F. F something fur. It's like a name. F Fisher fur or some. I forget. But
a Ferdinand.
It's some fur, but it's a very it's a softer, brilly one, which I like. Those.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Those are the ones that I didn't mind grabbing it. It's like, good shit, man. But his tree was ridiculous. I remember having some good. We had good side. That was our thing. We always liked a good full tree. Mm-hmm. Like if it doesn't have to be. We always did about, I think the 6-7 footer was always around the range we did. 6-7 feet. But always try to pick out a fuller one. You know what I mean? To get a nice round look to it,
Yeah.
This was not a full one I picked out. This was I'm just like, well, let's go let it fall out a couple of days. People that know that shit, the real tree shit, that's what you got to do.
People know that lie.
Right. Well, no, you got to let, when you got to take it, that's when it's more, when you're buying them all wrapped up already. You know what I'm saying? Which this was wrapped up at one point, but it definitely needs to fall out a little bit. When we put the ornaments on, it's going to help get weight to it because it's just not a full tree.
Yeah.
But
that's why they're mass sold like that. You know what I mean? So, but
it works. So he pops the twine off, and the branches fucking pop through the window like a motherfucker.
Everybody goes Dalsim on him. Yoga flame.
Right. And he has this big ass awkward tree, and I guess that was that. But he wants this Christmas season to be the family, everybody over. His parents, his wife's parents. He wants them to come through, have a big happy holiday. He wants to host. Guess they normally don't host, and that was his thing this year.
Yep. So he had the idea, and then they cut to the scene where Clark and his wife are laying in bed, and it's all about that tree sap, where everything goes wrong. And that's what I love, man, because I feel just like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles that we watched, and just like in one aspect, Scrooged, it's just everything goes wrong. And I know that feeling, but I also feel.
That was a great scene in the bed.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? As a kid, I think I used to think, I believe as a kid, I thought that came from the paper. I didn't even put it together. That was sap from the tree. I thought it was from something from like in a paper that it got sticky on his hands, and it just everything he touched became a mess.
Yep.
I didn't put it together, and it was sap. I was like, oh shit,
tree sap. Right. But it's you do that thing where like you feel, and through this movie till he eventually explodes, you feel Clark just trying to have that positive attitude and trying to stick with that positive attitude and stay with that positive attitude to where, yes, I'm trying to read a magazine and everything I touch rips out a page and my hand for the rest of my life. And just, oh man, it's so funny. It's so good of just the comedy of errors of nothing ever gets better. It only gets worse until he goes to shut off the lamp and then fucking he grabs the lamp halfway across the room.
The scene with her hair and because he touched her hair and then he grabbed the lamp and it was just like he had hair and lamp, nigga, just hair and lamp. Yep.
And then sometimes you just gotta go, you know what? I'm just going to bed. So that
yeah, he had a lot of fucking moments, man. And it's like, you always go like, man, he's better than me, man. Yeah, he's better. Like, I don't know. I might have,
Yep.
after the second one, I might have lost. All right. First
Mhm.
time, second time, maybe the third. I might get to my third. But
Yep.
after 3 times, it's like, this was just like, this dude got slapped around, physically,
Yep.
mentally, and through the whole thing. I think they flashed to his job from there, right?
Yeah, I think so. To where because then they're talking about, hey man, because that's another theme around this is the Christmas bonus. Just like, hey man, what you think about that Christmas bonus? Christmas bonus. And
Yeah.
they're talking about Clark. He formulated some type of flake protector for cereal that when the cereal's in the milk does not penetrate the cereal, so you still have crunchy cereal in every bite down to the end. Because for whatever business he works for, that's what he made. And they got that big dick swinging boss walking around that everybody's afraid of. And I've worked for places like that before too, and it's so hilarious just because I'm not afraid of just a normal human being. Like there's levels of respect, that is one
Right.
thing, but
Right. It's
the
a
whole
proper.
oh my god, Mr. Whoever's coming, like I can't. Well, are you doing anything wrong? Okay, well,
Right.
if you're not doing anything wrong, then everything should be
And then
fine,
they got
right?
the,
Like,
the brown nose searcher. Hi, Mr. Winsford.
yeah.
It's like, yo, calm it down. Be human.
And so then eventually
he's like a Ebenezer. This guy, I would
ooh,
say.
good
He had
call.
that. He had that vibe. Like he needed a Christmas spirit. He was like an Ebenezer kind of like in the movie Scrooge. He was like that boss in there. He was like Bill Murray kind of character a little bit.
If you were Ebenezer, I'm the holiday spirit.
You know what I'm saying?
Frank Shirley is his name. And so then in the scene, he comes walking down the hall with his entire, posse behind him. And
She's on Broadway.
so Clark says to him the whole, because he asks Clark about, are you the one that came up with the blah, blah, flake protector, whatever? Clark says yes. And then he goes into he wants to talk about it at some new news conference, so write him up a little script to explain it so he can. And then Clark says to him, hey man, thank you for the card, thank you for the Christmas card that you would give our family. And then Frank doesn't even play it off in front of the other people. He just goes, cards, oh yeah, corporate cards, sir. And then how we were saying how Clark
Then he
sticks
gave him
up
the
for
he gave him the
himself.
look. He gave him the look like shit. You weren't even supposed to give those out, motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah. um and then like we had said, where Clark still does have some spunk to him, then as everybody goes out, it's Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Yeah, kiss my ass. Hey,
Kiss my
kiss his
ass.
ass.
Kiss
Yeah,
his ass.
screw you. Yep. Hey, happy Hanukkah. Well,
Right.
yeah. So he's throwing little jabs in there the whole time.
Right. All the ass kissers that were following the boss. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that atmosphere too. Like with I worked somewhere time as a concierge, and the person that owned the building, the big boss guy that he owned multiple properties everywhere, big millionaire guy. When he came into town, bro, he would literally have a group of people around him just like that.
Just yes, man. Just
Right, walking
constant.
around. And what are we doing over here? Diane, what are we doing? Oh, we're working on renovation. We're gonna get new lights up there in the building. All right, all right, all right. What are we doing over here? Who the fuck is that? It's just like, oh my god, it's a real thing.
And at some point, you kind of feel bad for that person because it's kind of how we say, like, who is Justin Timberlake gonna fall in love with? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's who is the most famous person gonna fall in love with when somebody already knows who you? And Justin Timberlake's a bad example because he's married, but like, who is the richest person and most famous person gonna fall in love with? They
Yeah.
can't, because everybody knows them for that, and that's like that boss type situation.
Right. If
Even
you're a
though,
hidden millionaire, you could probably get away with it. But
oh yeah, of course,
you know what I'm
because
saying? Yeah.
it's not
Nobody
out
knows.
there like that.
Right.
But like, so
Famous
even a
guy.
situation like that, the boss is, they can never get anybody to just act fucking normal around them. So in a certain
Wonderful.
thing, I do understand how that's gotta suck.
Right. You have to really, because then what it is too, there's a certain line you gotta have to. I feel like it's when you're owning something like that, you kind of have to have a certain presence about yourself when there, because if you do come off as like anybody can come to you say whatever, you can open up a whole floodgate of some bullshit. Come to me
Mhm.
about things, but if you want then to get somebody that gets too comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need you to get too comfortable. You still got a job to do. Like, this is still almost like that. I could be a friend to my kid, but it's really got to be a parent more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
you know, like you can kind of be both, but you when it comes time to be a parent more, you have to. And it's a real thin line, I think, if you're trying to be that the friend that's the boss friend, you know, and then
Boss friend.
you go into an owner status. It's like, oh yeah,
Yep.
but you know, it's a humbling experience. It all depends on the person, you know.
And I think it's on them to create the correct people around them, which it seems like all of them fail in doing that.
Right.
Putting the correct people around them to tell them the truth. But then also, too, you know, I'm sure it feels nice for somebody to just be so afraid of hurting your feelings that but then it's also got to be tough to bullshit. Like, because I'm just not that type of person where I would just have to be like, I need you to tell me the truth. You know what I mean? Instead
Right.
of like, hey, what's going on over here? And like you said, then there's the mad scramble of, oh, well, somebody give him a good answer. Somebody give him a
You're
good
like,
answer. When it's like,
Lorraine,
hey,
you're good.
but
Lorraine, you go.
can you just tell me what's actually happening? How about
Right.
that? You know what I mean?
How about you
But
tell me what's on the plate, nigga? I'm trying to eat.
so Clark still has in his mind that because every other year they've always gotten they've always gotten a bonus. So he has in
Yep.
his mind, all right, that bonus is coming, and later you'll find that he wants to build the pool for his family. But from there, smash cut to they go Christmas shopping, and there's the quintessential hottest girl in the world at the counter.
Right. That was like
And Clark
80s
can't keep it together.
that was super 80s hot right there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she was hot, but I mean, like of the time, like she didn't really have like what it is hot now, where it's the curvy. You know what I'm saying? Back then, 80s was the very slimmy build with a bigger bust. That was like the 80s hot. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Big
80s
bust.
hot was, oh my gosh, she has big tits. She's the hottest girl in the world. That was 80s hot right there.
Straight 80s. So this
Mhm.
was that him at the counter. Oh, but he was great though. I couldn't stop smiling, when you watch that part though, because
Yep.
he's like fumbling. He's like, oh, she's gone. Oh, your wife's dead. No, no, I divorced.
Yep. And then when he's shopping for the panties and he keeps telling her just like he trips over his words every single time, but it's amazing with the whole like, and I don't even know why I'm buying her panties because she doesn't even wear panties and I don't know what's happening. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. And he's like, oh, there's boobs. Every cleavage line you could think of, he was,
even
spilling
at
it.
one point, he even says, "What am I saying?" Which is so funny. You know what I mean? Nipple. What am I saying?
What is that? You gotta love Chevy Chase, man. Like if you know Chevy Chase is he adds a lot of that where he puts a lot of a bunch of them all together. You kind of got to really catch what he's saying sometimes.
Exactly.
You know
It's like rambling comedy where he says a bunch of things and each one you could pick out and it's really funny. So then
Right.
she's showing him she's got like half of her pants up there and she's showing him that
Can't
there's
even
no
see that.
lines from the panties, right? There's no panty lines.
Look, see, these
And
are the
then
high hip ones.
and then he looks over and to his son because he's still trapped in the dream, but to his son he's like, yeah, see, Russ, there's no pan. Whoa, okay, that's my son. All right,
He's
now
like,
they
he's like,
tighten
yeah,
up a little
Dad.
bit.
There's no line. It's like, oh, hey, Russ. Okay, all right.
Yep.
That is hilarious, though, man. To be, oh,
And then after that, what was one of the nice things is they flash back to the home and It's a Wonderful Life is on TV, which I was like, we just watched
This
that.
Big George is holding a shorty do rocking
Mhm.
that one. Yes,
Every
indeed.
time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. I was like, yeah, I know it now because
I know.
so every other time I watch that movie, yeah, okay, that's
I
It's a
get it.
Wonderful Life, I guess. But now I was like, I've seen it now. I know it now. It's great.
That's the end. That's when he got his wings, man. He
Uh-huh.
helped out George.
Hmm. Everybody came dropping the dough on him.
Clarence got his wings.
So then smash cut to the door opening and his family's out
Hmm.
there, and they're
They're at the door
million miles a
arguing.
minute. They're just going.
Well, first they were arguing with each other because these are the in-laws arguing.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So that was always beef probably throughout the whole time. In-laws like I don't deal with that even now. Like my mother, because my pops that passed. So my
Mhm.
mother and my ladies, moms and her step pops, they get along great.
Nice.
They're from that same cloth and that same era of sex, drugs, and rock and roll and shit. So
Yep.
they can talk about back then all day.
Yeah.
But but that's like the thing though. The stereotypical of you hear of like people's in-laws that just don't like the opposite. If I don't like your
Yep.
husband, I'm sure as hell not gonna give a chance to really like his parents. There's a reason
Yep.
why I wouldn't like them either.
Yeah, like you said, it's a classic thing. And then I feel bad for the kids because that's another thing that parents mess up on all the time is um then when all the other family members arrive, that's when the kids then learn of like, oh yeah, you're giving up your bedroom for the next 5 days. And it's like, whoa, can we get a little bit of communication here? Why
Right.
is that happening?
They had to sleep
So,
with her brother and shit.
yep. So there's the initial peppering of that. Then smash cut to their outside setting up where Clark is laying the groundwork for, yeah, man, I got whatever the number was ridiculous. Like I
Right.
got 2,500 lights and Russ, we're about to get busy,
Right. It was a ridiculous amount. And he said 200. He said 200 something thousand lights. It was
Yeah,
insane.
it was like
And
that.
then I like the big bundle of Jordan. And he pull out his eye. It's a little tangled here.
Mhm.
You handle that. He gives this big ass fucking crater of light.
Globe.
Oh, and everybody knows if you don't. Took a long time for me to understand that part and get along with it, and actually being with somebody who does it, and it's a good thing of when you're done with those lights, you keeps the cardboard around or a board. Usually
Yep.
a board plank is the best. Wrap it
Make it
around
easier
there.
for yourself later.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, because I did the ball up in the bag and it's just never works out.
Uh-huh.
You're undoing them and light bulbs are popping off sometimes not even knowing, and you plug them in. It's like, what the hell happened? Oh,
Yep.
I just knocked like four of them out when I was untangling these motherfuckers.
True.
Oh, but
So
the
so
lights,
so
he's getting into that
the
spirit right now. He said he always wanted to do this
mhm.
his whole house. So this is his first bang at it.
And immediately the ladder is an enemy to him to where he's all the way on the top of the ladder, brrr, comes down. Then at one point, um, he's trying to use the ladder. He's falling backwards, forwards, all that stuff. And just it's a comedy of errors. Everything that can go wrong is going wrong. And it's amazing like that. He's damn near falling off the roof, everything. And, Margot and Todd, of course,
My
he
God.
might break his neck. Oh, I don't think we're that lucky, honey. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah. He said also, I hope he does, but he won't. It's not going to happen. Todd. That is such a rich
Yeah,
name.
it is such a rich name. Like nobody's ever been poor that's been named Todd. There's no homeless guy
I
named
know.
Todd.
I know. Even Todd Bridges became a little wealthy shit from fucking sitcom. That's
He at
Willis.
least made a comeback,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Willis. But for y'all that don't know, Willis from what the hell was that? With Arnold. What the hell's the name of that show?
What's happening? Was it, or that was the
No,
other
that
one?
was no. What's happening? Wasn't what's happening. Shit.
Who knows? We're
Anyways,
too old anyway.
yeah. Oh man, not me. I watched that show. I used to watch reruns of it.
So at one point, no, I'm just meaning to relate to anybody else. Same thing. I watched it, but I'm just talking for
References for the newer
yeah,
ears.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Got you.
so at one point, Clark accidentally staples his shirt to the gutter and then pulls it off too aggressively, falls backwards, and it's almost a disaster, right? Everything
Right.
is almost a disaster, and I think it's all leading up to the eventual rant later. Then you see small stuff like then in the kitchen, like his wife goes to have a cigarette, and you hear from the other, "Are you smoking?" When it's those are type of situations where I don't understand because I've had conversations with family members of mine and different people of you're 55 years old. How are you afraid of your mother? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, which I just don't get, brother. That shit that does not compute in my brain.
It's more like I respect you so much, Mama, and it's a you're grown now. You have to say, "Mom, I'm grown now. I do respect you, but I'm doing grown things, especially at 55."
Yeah,
It's
and
normal
that's
days,
something to
it's
do
normal
at
days.
and that's something to do at like 21. Not but there's people that are just straight up afraid of their parents still at some age, and I don't know. To me, that shit, to get way too deep on the subject, to me that
Right,
shit's not love. That's
right,
some other love is not. You're supposed to be afraid of the other person.
right.
It's I don't get that shit.
Right. You shouldn't have to fear your parents, but like I was told that one time as well. They gotta fear you, so no, they gotta respect you. You know how to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's if there's a little fear instilled in as that's us because of that fear comes from what happens from the result of. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Not like I gotta fear he's gonna kill me. No, he might pop that ass. You be on punishment, take some shit away from you or whatever. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
But something you got to deal with from that. You're supposed to learn from it,
Hmm.
nigga.
But yeah, like I said, to be at that age and to be afraid to have a cigarette is because of somebody else is going to say something. That shit, just on a personal level and the way I
Right.
live my life, that shit was insane to me.
In
But
your house.
yeah, yeah, exactly. In your house, in your own damn house.
You smoking?
Yep.
Someone for him.
But exactly, yes, and this is my house. You know what I mean? That, but whatever. It's too deep for the moment. But smash cut to Clark's on the roof at night, still putting up these lights. So they give you that. He worked all day, all night. He ends up going head first off the roof at one point. Still holding on. He and he pulls the gutter off, and icicle shoots through Todd and Margot's house.
Like that was
There's
a
just
great that
wild
was a
shit.
great that was a great layout for like I always wanted when they design these scenes, man, if we're like a whole like, all right, he's gonna go here and then he's gonna slip. He's gonna slide down almost for hold on to the gutter. And then this is gonna happen that and then it's gonna come off. And then there's gonna be an icicle in the gutter that's gonna project out of there and then go through the neighbor's window. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody like, that's a good scene.
I know. I give credit to people that can see that in their head before filming
Right.
it. That's cool.
Or sometimes they had a different vision and it might change on the set. I think shit like that happens too. Like sometimes
Yep.
it might be like, that's not how I originally wrote it, but I changed it and I like this better.
So then eventually Clark gathers the family on the front lawn because this is it. I'm about to, I just put up, like we said, we're gonna exaggerate, but I just put up 8 million lights. It's
Right.
about to pop off.
Shout out
And
to the drum roll. You drum roll. I said
no,
drum roll,
because
guys.
he asks for it, and then like he waits, not noticing, like, drum roll, please, and then they give it to him.
Everybody's drum roll was not a drum roll, but it's cool. It was great.
Yep. And then, of course, doesn't happen.
Nothing happening.
Doesn't happen.
Nathan's. And as he's sitting there and it's, nothing happening, they're just like, they were shitting on him and, sitting, going around, just kind of shitting on him. And, well, the kids were having his back, you know what I'm saying? The daughter, who kind of was clowning dad at the beginning, she was trying to clown him in front of the family that was getting on him. Like, yeah, he tried hard,
Well, his father-in-law is the biggest asshole because
Yeah.
his father and his mother are super supportive the whole time, but his
Yep.
father and his mother-in-law are like we said, the quintessential. Just I don't want them around. I don't want to be. They're
Right.
always
I
they
never
know
liked you,
everything.
Clark.
They're better.
Right.
Exactly that type of shit.
I don't like anything about you, what you do. So he was unsuccessful and looked like a clown sitting there.
And here's a piece of trivia from IMDb. After failing to get the Christmas lights to work one last time, Clark Griswold takes his frustration out on the plastic decorations in the front yard. Chevy Chase actually broke his pinky finger while punching Santa Claus. He then resorts to kicking and clubbing the decorations after that. The film kept rolling and that take was used. So he was going buck. He broke his finger.
When he did that one, because it's so funny because I hysterically laugh every time when he punches Santa in the face. Every time I just giggle. Every time, it's like it just never gets old. It fucking just duped him, fucking booted him. You know what I'm saying? It was just straight all out smackdown, man.
And those are those hard plastic joints too, right? Those are those, yeah.
Because he was out there and he was like, well, I can't get those going, so at least I can get, he said, well, I didn't get Santa down here with his little slag, and at least get that guy. It was nothing. Oh, I think it was tight. Beat the shit out of that Santa. But that's funny. He broke his pinky on it. That's great. That's
so,
great.
But it's kind of cool to, like, damn, he put in some effort. You know what I mean? Like, he went for it.
He was in character for real. Say, I see you, Chevy. I see you.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure it was frustrating, just everybody's going through that frustration of just, oh my God, what's happening? So then, next morning they're gonna get up and go Christmas shopping or something like that. But Chevy hits the attic, right?
Yep.
And of course, because everything goes wrong.
Everything. Well, the fucking ladder takes his head off. Almost decapitates him. He goes up there. What he does, what come to find out what they show him, what he does is he's going to hide a gift that he was giving for his wife, I guess. He hides the gift up there, but in the process of where he hides it, he pulls out a gift, an old ass one he left in there, I think, from the year before.
Yeah.
So it just shows you that the fucking, it's just the the airhead type of shit. He's kind of an airhead, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, I'm going to hide a gift in the same place that I hid one last year that I totally forgot about.
He's always trying to do the right thing, but then
right. But well, like his wife had said when they were laying down in the bed, and when she was talking to him, she's like, "Listen, you don't always have to." He goes, "Well, I don't do everything big." He goes, "What do I do big?" And you do birthdays, weddings, anniversaries. Like, so he enjoys the moment of everything he's doing. Tradition, the moment it is, he wants to go big and do it big. When she's like, "Look, you don't gotta go big all the time," which is understandable, but it's not the Griswold way, nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so he's up there trying to hide the gift. And then the mother-in-law, who's a little chilly coming out, right? Oh, it's cold. Like, you see the ladder down. How about you find out if anybody had it down or if anybody's up there? Nope, she just pushes it back up into, now this is a pull down ladder from the ceiling.
Yep.
Goes back up in there, and now he can't push it back down, which I don't know if they really work like that.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've been on a couple of those before, but I don't think I've ever tried to close it while being up.
No. Thank God I've never been trapped in an attic.
Right, trapped in the attic. In the wintertime in the attic is not nice. So now he's up there. He can't get out. He's trying to knock. Nobody's hearing him. Now the whole family's all heading outside. Everybody's kind of rolling out, and he's like up there stuck, trying to hit down. Nobody's hearing him, and the wife wants to go back in, and of course her father. I'm hungry. He's a grown man. He's got a car. He'll meet us. Come on. You know, he wants to go shopping. Whatever. We're gonna go. So now he's stuck in the fucking attic, man. Freezing cold. With a pair of gypsy gloves he found. A gypsy hat.
Yeah.
and a little set of ladies' gloves. And he looks like an old gypsy fortune teller, so to say. Which I think was one of his characters on Saturday Night Live, if I'm not mistaken, when he had that gypsy hat on. Don't quote me on that.
So. I remember something like that, right?
Yeah, there was a skit on SNL when he was a member of that he actually wore a turban or something of that sort.
Yeah.
But now he's up there and he stumbles across the home movies of himself, I guess, as a kid. That was him as a kid.
This is where you see the John Hughes human being, however John Hughes knows how to connect to human beings, because he knows how to do it better than most people. You see that human connection of like, wow, here's the heartfelt punch in the chest of like, oh, that old school, and he remembered the memories, and oh man, it felt good.
Right. He was just like crying with his little beanie on. He was buckets. Just look at this.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny though? Shout out to the time before that when he was standing up in the middle of the attic, his feet went through and landed on top of the kid's bunk bed.
Yep.
And I laughed at that part afterward. I look at it now, I was like, oh, man, you already put a hole there. You might as well go down through there, through the bunk bed.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm saying that, but it's just like, he was just like, he went back up and sat down and watched the movies. Started crying. But bad choice of seating, so he sat on top of the ladder. So when they came home after being out all day, she pulled the ladder down and he fell through.
There goes Clark.
As he's crying, watching old school movies, nigga, down goes Frazier. Down goes Griswold.
Down goes Grizzy. Then they're back at, man, we're going to get these lights to work. He's out there. He's going to make it happen. And his wife is going to help him. And at some point, the lights go on for a second and blind Todd and Margot. And then they go back off and he can't figure it out. And then he calls the family out. Come on. We got it this time.
Right.
And then his wife hits a switch in the garage and they go back off. And then But then they finally get him, and his wife turns on the switch, and everyone's outside, and it's a glorious day. And
Right.
they give the topical view where the other houses start to lose power, and the
Right.
city starts to lose power.
The grid
And
up.
yep, and they have to go to like the I don't know what it is, the electrical center where the guy hits a different switch and makes things you know, they got to go to the backup, the utility power, and so they can finally make it work. But this shit is so funny because it just everything goes wrong. Then oh my god, it kind of works. Then it kind of works, and then he just has the brightest house on the planet. And for a moment, for the first time in the movie, probably Clark is happy. He's geeked out, you know, because he finally got his 5 million lights to work. The number changes every time.
Right. The 216,022 lights.
Exactly.
They're all working.
And
of
his father,
Pops is loving him. Everybody's loving
yeah.
his father-in-laws. They can't give him his flowers, never.
Mhm.
You know, don't tell him how nice it is, kind of shit. I'm like, it's all right. You know, Clark gets emotional. He's hugging everybody. He's feeling the Christmas spirit. And he's accomplished something that feels good, man. You know that feeling, man. Trust me, when you do things like that, you work hard to put something together, and it comes out, and you know, you kind of stand there, you know, and you know that feeling. Some people exaggerate more than others, but it's a feeling that's undeniable, nigga. You know, when you feel good when everybody's appreciating something you've done, and you're appreciating more of the finished product of the hard work you put in. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I put in hard work in that shit, man. Look at that motherfucker. Come over. You want to hug a motherfucker? Come here. Look at this shit.
I know you finally, you know, completed the task, completed the mission, and not everybody feels the same about it, but that's okay.
Right. But you know, just be happy for that guy. Like, you got it, Bruce.
Give him his props.
I'm not here to take nothing from you, man, but I give you a head nod, and you take how you want to take. You know what I'm saying?
And so then while they're so happy about that and basking in the enjoyment, here he comes. Just saddles up right next to him.
But it was great how that transition happened. He's going down hugging everybody, and then it gets to the end of the line, and he's like, hey Eddie, isn't it beautiful? Hey Ed, he said, that is beautiful, Clark. Hey Ed. Hey, whatever. What's Ed's wife's name? I forgot.
Catherine.
Catherine.
Cousin Catherine. Catherine Johnson.
Hey Catherine. Hey Ed. Hey Catherine. It looks over and it's his fucking his cousin Eddie. Crazy cousin Eddie.
Crazy Eddie.
Played by
Randy Quaid.
Dennis Quaid's brother, old school actor. Just look him up. IMDb him. Randy Quaid was a great guy. Caddyshack, I loved him in that one. I always wanted to try that omelet he made. Actually, it was in a weird way with hash browns and eggs on it. I remember that movie. Yeah, maybe we'll watch it one day. But big 80s guys, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And his brother pulls up in the RV with the wife, 2 kids, and a Roddy.
Yep.
Got a Rottweiler ace duck in it, flying out the coop, ready to poop.
So that was more the moment of.
But he's looking at him like he hasn't seen him. Right. He didn't know he was coming. He's got that look, like looking at him like he hasn't seen him in years.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I like when the grandfather goes, "Oh, you got a kiss for me?" He goes, "Oh, I wouldn't do that." He's got a. He said he has some kind of fungus.
Some type of lip fungus that hasn't been diagnosed yet. Whoa.
So he was the quintessential imagery of trailer park trash.
Oh yeah, just nasty.
Right, that stereotype of what trailer park trash is and looks like and is all about is basically considerably what is Mr. Eddie Griswold himself.
And just how they act, and he just completely can't read the room.
Right. And I know people like that too. So this is I know these people, man. That's great. You just can't read. That's the best way. That's the best explanation I ever heard. Can't read the room. I just can't get a feel with mittens on, nigga. Just what are we doing? Yep. It's like, bro, come on, get your tactile on, man. Get out there, get a feel for this shit, man.
So then they go back to work, and Clark, he's got a present for his boss. That he walks in, and it's a huge room where it's only him and his boss in there, and his boss is busy the whole time. Frank is just not. He's yeah, I got other stuff to do. And he always calls Clark Griswold the wrong name, which is so funny. The entire movie, how far it goes. You know what I mean?
Billy Barry, whatever.
He can never call him the right name. Right. And then he gives him a present that then when you see he puts down a present because his boss goes, yeah, put him there with the others. And I don't know what he got him, but it looked exactly the same as every other present. You know what I mean?
They all bought him the same exact shit. Whatever it was, They all bought it for him. Everybody.
And so then, because you just kind of got the check in there where his boss is like, yeah, whatever. And then, oh, no, I'm sure whatever you did helped. It was just kind of, yeah. Right. You could tell the boss didn't know who he was or give a shit about who he was.
Because in the previous scene when they were interacting, the boss said, hey, I got something coming at the end of the day. I need you to pop up the numbers and put a presentation for me. I need it by the end of the day. So he tried to break the ice of the, hey, how'd that presentation go? Yep. I'm sure it went all right. Getting on him all. It could have went great, but he not trying to give him his flowers once again. Ebenezer bitch nigga.
So then they go to here's another great pastime, sledding, and Clark grabs something from the factory that he works at, this super lubrication that he's going to put on these sleds, right? And that's another thing too, man. I haven't been sledding in probably 10 years. Not exaggerating, probably 10 years.
I've been a little closer than that. Probably about 2. 1 or 2. Nice. About 2. Yeah, 2. It was fun still. Just going back up, I was like, it was, man, I forgot this part sucks. Mm-hmm. Going back up to the top.
So then this is like an entire scene just set up for that nostalgia, but also that comedy of, because they're also going on like metal sleds and metal disc sleds.
Right.
And, as soon as they put the thing on the snow, it just, and it's gone. It's amazing.
Shout out to Cousin Eddie's he said he had to replace his metal crown in his head because every time his wife turned on the microwave, he'd shit himself. He said he would shit himself and do something else. It was like a 2-part. He said I shit myself and blank every time she turns the microwave on. So they replaced it with a nice rubber one. So I don't want to go sledding. He said no, put on that shit on mine because it was like it'll make you go 20 times faster. He's like, oh no, I'm all set with that.
Yep.
Oh man, so he zips down the fucking hill like a bullet. It's fucking, he said exaggerated sparks are flying out of the fucking thing. On the point where he almost kills himself. And shout out to holy shit. I don't think I've ever really zoned in that thinking like, yo, Walmart was around back then. I always remember Kmart. I don't remember Walmart being around back in the 80s, 90s.
It was, I think that's back when Walmart was like regional and, a smaller type thing.
That's right. Because I'm sitting there like, man, that's Walmart. We had Kmart out this way, but Walmart didn't come around until after Kmart went down. But I think the Mart bought them out. I think Wally bought K's out because every K that was around became a Wally.
Every kiss begins with K. Come on, dude. No, I know what you're saying, though. Yeah, it seemed to be a switch over.
That fucked me up a little bit because I didn't think Walmart was around back then. So shout out to not knowing. Bars.
Talk to him. So then, once again, they flash back to his work, and he's playing with a model of a pool, and his homeboy comes in talking about, man, you get it yet? Well, no, somebody came by the house and dropped off a letter, and I don't know. And
I'm sure it's it, though.
Exactly. They keep painting that. They build it up well, of
right.
Well, this has got to be it. This has got to be it.
The whole stick was too that he put $7,500 down. He took out out of his mortgage or something to put down on this because he was going to put back in from his bonus.
Yep.
So he got a lot riding on his bonus. You know what I mean? Just to paint the picture of how, it's like he's got a lot riding on his bonus. Like, I really need his bonus because now I already put money down on this pool. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because I'm already guaranteeing that I'm thinking I'm going to get this because I get it every year. I need that.
And how people say the whole, like when you go to the casino, it's like you don't play with money that you can't lose or that you already haven't thought that like, hey, this is done.
You're not ready to lose yet.
That was the unfortunate thing about C. Lark is he was betting on money that was not guaranteed,
Taking that house money, doing wrong things.
Yep. Thinking that, all right, this bonus check is definitely going to cover it. And as we see
Right.
later, things get on fire. But then they go to him daydreaming about the pool at his house, right? And seeing the woman again from the Macy's or whatever it was, the TJ
Right.
Maxx.
Well, he's seen his family in there splish splashing, having fun. He's smiling. Look at my family, and then he's kind of got that face on because now he's envisioning cousin Eddie with the short shorts on and shit, doing strange things, drinking beer on the diving boards. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it started ruining his image, and then it flashed into Shorty from the jewelry spot in a bikini out there. And now he's grinning and winning, baby.
Mm-hmm. And as soon as she's about to, risk it all and go skinny dipping,
and
his little niece pops up on him. And
right.
What was her name? She was Ruby Sue. Was that her name? I think.
Is that what they gave her? A Ruby Sue? Oh man.
I think that's what
I
she
forgot
was.
his kids' names, yeah.
But she asked if he's Santa, which is, a nice little cute back and forth moment. And
right.
she's asking why he can't sleep and all that other stuff.
All right. So when you get to feel that, you can see that Eddie and his wife ain't doing too great for these kids, and a little sense of how they're talking. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
oh yeah,
being a little assed out, and Daddy, last year we didn't, almost like it skipped them last year type shit. You know what I mean? Last time it's gonna happen again. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so
that that kind of theme of like, well, we're not at home, so does Santa know where we are, and is that why he's gonna miss us again? That type of stuff,
Right. So then
the little kids don't know, man. It ain't their fault.
Right. So him and his wife talked about that one. You know what I'm saying? And
maybe we can help him out.
Right. They want to do something for the kids. So when they were the next day, they flash forward. I think it flashed to him now at shopping with Eddie, right? And he dropped it on him.
Yeah.
Well,
meanwhile, Eddie's just dumping shit in the carriage, like 3 bags of dog food. I think maybe a gallon of bird seed, just dumb shit. Where like,
those was
once again, can't read the room, and I hate people that don't understand the price of $1, the worth of $1, right, because it's somebody else paying for it. I hate that shit.
Right. It's just like, hey, what you're paying for, you got it. Yeah, here, Clark, give me 3 of them things. You know what I mean? It's just like, yo, when greed gets involved, when you show a sense of greediness and you're helping somebody out and they kind of shine, it's like a greedy shine comes off of them, like a glimmer. Like it really turns me off. I know that, man. I've run into things like that. It's like I enjoy giving. You know what I'm saying? Like I enjoy that part. Yep. But when you do it to somebody that kind of seems either unappreciative or a little greedy a little bit, like it turns it off. Like nigga, I don't give you shit, nigga. Nothing for you.
Yep. So yeah, he's explaining, and then is that when Eddie drops on him that like that he lost everything, right? To where he's like, yeah, no, I didn't borrow that trailer. That's ours. That's what we live in. And, when we leave here next month, that might have been the part where he drops that on him, or it might have been a little bit later, but
I might have been a little later, but it was right there. No, it was when he said he's going to do the list. He said, oh, you got a list of what they want. He said, you tell me, I'm going to ask them. And he gave him a big ass list. He goes, here's everything in alphabetical order right here from now on.
Yep.
Now he's like, that's it. Once again, you're dumping, you don't do all that. You give the list and go, here's the list. And you let them give what they want on it. You don't start directing everything. There's 20 items there, and it's blah, 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 blah. Like, come on, what are we doing?
Exactly. Well, if you get the phone, I'll get the okay. I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? It's too much. But yeah, he had it in his pocket, ready to go. And once again, it's just that taking advantage of the kindness, unfortunately. And that's why sometimes you have to have that cold attitude, and not. You don't have to have it with everybody, but you pick your spots and you learn from people's behavior how to, react to them at certain points.
Show them how to move through a room full of vultures. Sorry.
So true.
Holy speaking it. You know what I'm saying?
So then they're back. They're back at the house, and now the older folks start to come through. Lewis and Bethany show up. Yeah, man.
They're great. Aunt Bethany was her name. She was you could tell she was going senile. So she was the senile lady. the
Not going senile. She was there.
she was
She had
there,
arrived.
right. Yeah, she was.
Because
She was in and out of the check-in. You know what I'm saying? I'll check in, check out, check in, check out.
the presents that she brought were her cat wrapped up in a fucking wrapped up in a present and a Jello mold that was melting. Those were the gifts that
Right.
she brought. And it's funny because then the daughter asks the mom, Juliette Lewis asks Beverly, about why it's happening, right? And she explains that, oh well, you know, she forgets stuff sometimes, so she'll just wrap up stuff from her house, you know, to bring. So they explain it a little bit, but
Right.
man, that shit is funny.
And that's I laugh because that Jello takes part in the dinner table.
Yes.
That was great. That was great. So yeah, the Jello was hard bodied. Yeah. So now they're there. He's got the stupid toupee on. The uncle and the aunt's there when she's out of it. Yeah, Uncle Louis, she's out of it. You know what I'm saying? And she has a cat that she now that is there in their house with a dog that Eddie has. So it's now you're still feeling for this guy. Like, what the fuck? Can't win. What did they flash to after that? I always forgot.
They went to cut the turkey.
Oh, they went. Now
they
they're
just
at the
went
dinner
to dinner.
table. Yes, they came over for dinner. We're at the dinner table now. And the turkey looks great. He tells her how great it looks. If it tastes anything as good as it looks, honey. Fucking never seen a turkey deflate inside out. It was a great.
It was like he cut into a basketball. That shit
right.
Just...
It's in air and it curled up. Nigga, just.
Oh man.
Something was about to hatch out that bitch.
I told you we left it in too long, right? Somebody yells that, and it's just. Man, it's so funny. And then, but Clark tries to see through it. Oh man, no, it'll just be a little bit dry, all that, and then cut to he's chewing on that thing hard.
Hard body chews, man.
That chew where you blink every time you chew. You know what I'm saying? Did you? Okay.
And that's when the Jello was there.
Yep.
had fucking cat food in it.
Yes.
And old cousin Eddie loved it, nigga.
Cousin Eddie was loving it.
He was tearing that shit up. Everybody else was fucking spitting out like, what the fuck? Let's go on. What was her name? Auntie. Nice going.
Auntie, what was her name? Auntie, I just said it before too.
You did. You said Lou and
Bethany.
Aunt Bethany.
And even her, like where they tell her to say grace, I think she goes into the Pledge of Allegiance at one point.
She was supposed to bless the food. I pledge allegiance. And fucking cousin Eddie, who don't know the rooms, stands up and puts his hand on his heart. 21 gun saluted.
This shit is so funny. You think Eddie, like, you feel for him a little bit there. Like they give the character a little bit of redemption because you're like, well, he's down for it. Like he's trying to be part of the crew. Like he I don't know.
Right. He tries, but he doesn't know how to.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to do it in a proper manner. You know what I mean? He said, God, man, your heart is good and pure with things, man, but you're just an asshole when it comes to execution. Execution, a thought process, executing an action that relates to that thought process. It doesn't work for you, man. Bring it together.
And then here, that's when also I think the dog is chasing the cat under the table, and that was one of the first times Clark kind of gets a little bit real with Eddie, where he talks about him like digging through the garbage and shit like that, and then Eddie kind of snaps back with like, well, if your house wasn't dirty, something like he didn't say those exact words, but kind of like, whoa, you're the piece of shit, not me. Come on, don't do that.
Right. I know with the dog when he was like choking on something and he acted up. That was his bone. He got it. He goes, well, maybe it'd help if you didn't feed him from the table, Eddie. Yep. No. He said, no, that's not it. He probably got in the trash or something. Dog fucking mauled the trash.
Right. Cut to the trash, and the kitchen floor has been remodeled with trash. It's just disgusting. Because the dogs, man, I remember that too. Like the first dog that my family ever had, he was just one of those dogs that you could not tell him anything about the trash.
Oh
Some of those
man,
dogs are just like that, man. Some dogs don't care about the trash. Other dogs are, oh, that's happening, you know?
right. And then they flash back to the dinner table, and the look on their face when the old man's in there with his cigar, Uncle Lou,
Uh-huh.
and they're sitting at the table, and in the far shot of the camera angle is this fucking fire breathing flamethrower, and the look on their face is like his just like I don't know, I'll go check it out. Like what the fuck was that? And sure enough, uh, old Uncle Lou burnt the whole fucking Christmas tree down.
That was
uh,
that first one was remember the cat was chewing on the wires. And
oh,
then
that's right. The cat
and
got
then
it first.
Clark plugged back in the
The
he
wire the cat was
plugged back
chewing
in the
on.
wire to the tree. And then the cat just
Fucking electrocuted
became
the cat.
the cat became a memory after that.
Yeah, they did the cartoon look to him when he was flat and furry and burnt. You know what I mean? It was a animated look to him. Like, what the hell? Oh man. So that went wrong. The cat was now
Hmm.
dead. Then Uncle Lou burns the tree down.
Yep.
And now he's sitting there like, what did you do to my tree? He bounces, he puts him out, he tells him he made it look better. That was a fucked up shit to say.
Yeah.
Looks better now. I mean,
I
I
know
put
I
it out
hate
as
that
misery.
shit that like I can't admit I did anything wrong person. You know, where
Right.
it's
Well,
like
bro, you didn't really like that anyways. It doesn't fucking matter. You did
mhm,
it and you shouldn't have done it. And I'm pissed about it. And you should take heed to that instead of coming at me with some. I mean, bro, you didn't really like that anyways, though, right?
right.
Why you trying to sneak out the back door? Motherfucker, face your shit and stay right here in the living room. It's the living room. Live with me.
So then we get to the not the climax of the movie, but to a very big part of the movie where finally a letterman shows up with a letter for Clark Griswold. And oh my God, this is it. This is it. He knows. And even before he opens the letter, he makes the announcement of, listen, guys, I used this to buy the family a pool. And I'm going to fly you guys all out here on Mother's Day. And we're all going to have a great time at the
Right,
pool, blah,
right.
blah, blah.
The
He's
messenger
building
said
it up.
it got dropped in the seats. I forgot I was supposed to bring it yesterday. Couldn't
Yep.
get to you yet.
He, his family's hugging him. Everybody's so geeked out. Oh, Clark, this is going to be great. And then he opens it up.
Right.
And you know what it is.
Oh, brother, it's a year supply.
A year subscription.
A year subscription. I'm sorry, it wasn't even a supply. There was nothing given, but a subscription to the Jelly Club.
The Jelly of the Month Club.
Jelly of the Month Club.
So
Oh,
I can only assume that you get a different jelly
preserves.
every month. Yeah,
Right, you
exactly.
pay
Could
your
be
tithes and you
some
get a free gift.
marmalade, if you will.
Right. Every month you get a new one if you pay your fees, your tithes.
Oh God.
So that work, man. You down with a fraternal organization. You got to pay your fare, pay your tithes. Bunch of bullshit.
And at that point,
Yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes there. He just
mhm,
loses his shit. He goes, if somebody really is thinking of the last thing you want to do, get me as a Christmas gift, and so go on down there and get my boss. And it's always funny because you look about it. He actually says his name and his address down there in Meadow Lane.
yep.
Get his first and last name down in Meadow Lane and bring him with a nice big bow on him right here. So I could tell him, and then he just fucking rips off and low life.
Uh,
Sack of monkey shit. Oh man, I love that. I actually tried to use that one time for a skit, intro to a song,
nice.
and never released, but it was going to be in there. That whole rant was just amazing. I always loved it, and I was going to use it for
It's a beautiful thing.
yeah. So he goes fucking bonkers. Hallelujah! Give me some that.
Holy shit.
Holy shit! Hallelujah! I didn't know Tylenol. So and then he's still now that level. He's still trying to fight to be in the spirit, but he's now in that middle spot where he had that snappy part, but still was in the game as Christmas spirit. Now
Mhm.
he's like hardcore Christmas spirit with the hardcore edge. You know what I'm saying? It's the best way I could think about it for myself. It's like, I'm like, now come on, we're gonna go fucking sing jingle bells. We're gonna do it. We're gonna, you know what I mean? And it's like I'm hardcore about it. We're gonna make it last because everybody's trying to leave. Now
Yep.
that was the last straw Everybody's trying to leave, and he's like, "Whoa, whoa, we're not going nowhere." Right? Was that the last one that made him leave?
Yeah, well, he
No,
does
no,
that
no. That
rant
wasn't that. No, he does the rant, and then he goes outside to cut the fucking tree down.
because they need another tree. Yeah.
Right. So he just goes on that rant, and now he's got the fucking Christmas hat on, and he's got that look in his eye. And said, "My dad's got that look in his eye." You know what I'm saying? It's like, so son tries to talk to him. He's got the chainsaw going, and he's like, "All right, good talk, Dad." He fucking leaves him, and he fucking cuts down the tree. Who then again intrudes into Todd and Margot, whatever was it, Mary or whatever.
Yep, Margot. But
Margot.
that was one of the interesting things is that they really didn't do anything wrong, Todd and Margot. They
No.
seemed, they
They're
were
just
assholes, but
smug as
they were
neighbors.
the victim in so much of this.
They were.
And also, while that happens too, they flash quickly to where you see Eddie drive away. You know,
Right.
so
They show
set that
flashes of
seed.
that. You know, it's funny because I feel like when I was watching it earlier, I didn't really pick up on that, like him leaving that scene, because it was like showing the burnt tree outside or whatever was on the ground outside.
Yep. Yeah.
I thought they were just kind of focusing on that and
Yep.
his truck leaving. I'm like, okay, Eddie's leaving.
Yeah.
So now
It was
Eddie's
a quick.
gone.
It was it was a
little
quick
RV pill out. You know what I'm saying?
There's plenty of people, including myself, that didn't pick up on it. You know what I mean? Until later, we were like, oh, okay, that's
Right.
what happened.
They did it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So now he does that with the gets the tree in the house. And now he's stepped back into trying to be in the spirit. So everybody's just sitting around and he's like decorating the tree now. You know what I'm saying? He's got a Santa hat on, and the senile auntie's over there talking about she's hearing something. And Uncle Lou's like, "You're not hearing anything." Yeah, and then Clark says, "Yeah, I'm hearing something." Lo and behold, my bitch Carol, sorry, that's what my pet squirrel I have outside.
Yep.
A squirrel comes out of the tree, nigga, and
With vengeance.
with lunges in this dude's face. So now it's a running amok. The squirrel's running all over the house. It's just pandemonium.
And Roddy decides to give chase.
Roddy's chasing it down, busting shit along the way.
Apparently, and I know it's for a movie, but apparently doors back in the day were not made that way, because they're busting through doors. They are just tearing apart this house.
Aunt's on the ground pretending, the mom's on the ground pretending to be dead, laid out. She passed out and shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't move. And I love when he tells him, he goes, he's got, all right, give me a bat. He goes, well, I got the cloth here. I'm gonna throw it over him. I'm gonna beat it with a bat. And just like, and the mother-in-law passes out and shit. So what do you want me to do? I gotta get him out. So now he's like kind of looking for him, and the shit ends up on his back, which is a great scene where the father's screaming squirrel, and they're fucking all running, and he's running he don't even know the squirrel's on his fucking back. He's just running because he said squirrel.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very cartoony. And then now, because when the lights came on, that's what it was. When the lights, no, right? No. The tree was the last straw. The tree that came through the window.
Yeah, the tree was the last straw.
Last straw. Margot now pissed. Margot's like, I'm gonna go punch him right in his mouth if you're not gonna do it. You're gonna go punch him in his face, she said. You want me to hit him with violence? If you won't, you're not man enough, I'll do it. One of those lines, girls get guys beat up like that all the time. So now he goes over there, and she goes over there, ready to knock on the door with anger, and he opens the door because now the dog is chasing the damn squirrel. Even chase. Boom, door opens, squirrel goes, dog goes, squirrel in her face, dog on her, victim again.
Victim again. Right? All they were trying to do was just not have kids and live their own life, but it didn't happen that way.
Nope.
So then his dad talks to him, Clark's dad talks to him, and they're having a little heart to heart, and he passes the torch. Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How'd you do it? Well, I drank Jack Daniels.
I had a friend, Jack Daniels.
And then there's a little bit of a passing of the baton with, well, are you going to read The Night Before Christmas? No, Clark, it's your Christmas now.
You're
bestowed that upon him. And
pass down the snowflake to the nigga.
Exactly.
The golden flake, baby. Take that.
And so now Clark's reading, was The Night Before Christmas and all through the house, blah, blah, blah. And then halfway through it, And then Eddie was outside with somebody wrapped in a bow. And what is happening? And then you get that Eddie has went and kidnapped Frank, and he grabbed his boss. And just like Clark said, he brought him there with a bow on and all that shit.
I want him to wake him up in the middle of the night to bring his ass down here with a bow on so I can tell him. And I love he's got him with a bow on. And he's sitting there telling him, well, he wants to tell you something. So you bring him, he said, you want to press? Yeah, I got no money. So in his heart, he thought he was doing something good. I don't got no money for you. Exactly. This is what you want for a gift. That I got can you. Kidnap a nigga, bring him here. Gotcha.
Kind of explaining the metal plate in his head makes more sense. You know what I mean? Where Eddie's not thinking, how he should be.
Right, and the wife that said he was kidnapped. He was a burly man, big burly. I believe is what she called him. So now he's got him out in front of him, and he starts kind of talking about the bonus, what he thought.
Well, you're fired. You're fired. Well,
right, it's not your fault.
Clark didn't have anything to do with it. Blah blah, all that other stuff.
He started working up. Said, "Look, I had that for 17 years. I've been getting it. Now I didn't get this year." And, I had plans to do with my stuff, with my family. And that, the violins was going. You didn't hear him, but they was going. He's like, kind of like, hey, man, man, this is why, the way he exploded, he didn't do it. He kind of was more heart open to this guy. Like, this kind of fucked me up with this shit.
I got to speak my piece, and finally the boss is going to listen.
Right. And you're going to listen, it's fine. Fire me. Don't take my cousin to jail. You want somebody going to get arrested, it's going to be me. Don't worry about it. And I got to tell you, a lot of movies, when they do the plots with things, it usually takes a little more to break the ass of a hard ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But now this one got him. Stuck in a spot.
Kidnapping is pretty, It's
pretty surreal. Like, I know it's like you kidnapped me just to bring me down here to tell me about you not getting the raise that.
Maybe I should listen.
Maybe I shouldn't have been an asshole this year and get a raise. And
well, one of the nice things I like that he said, because I do have this theory about a lot of the bosses that I've worked for before, is the whole thing of the people that make the rules don't necessarily have to follow the rules, and the people that make the that implement certain things to do, they don't have to do that, so they don't understand how it works. And one of the things that Frank had said in this was the whole like, well, yeah, you do it on paper, but then when you see it in real life, it's different, because you can say, nobody's getting bonuses this year, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then when you're in front of the family that did not get the bonus and they're explaining to you how much that bonus meant.
It makes you feel like an asshole, like, maybe I shouldn't. Because it was like he was saving pennies to his,
nothing that meant that
nothing that was going to shut down. It wasn't like, hey, if I gave you those bonuses, my company was going to shut down. Far from it. Just being a cheap guy, being a miser, being Ebenezer. You know what I'm saying?
Miser.
The Ebenezer miser. You know what I'm saying? He just penny pinching, being that nigga. But he came to his senses, and he promised them he's going to give him 20% more than he got last year on his bonus.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then,
unfortunately, it was too late at that point because the feds was on him.
The SWAT team rolled up the way they would never roll up in real life. I mean, they would roll up like that, but the manner in which they went into this household for kidnapping, hostage
for residential house to rappel off the roof and kick through the window.
Right. You would have thought he was. You would have thought he was a political refuge, or like a president or somewhere of that importance. You know what I'm saying? The way they over exaggerated the SWAT team coming and propelling down the side of the house and fucking landing through windows and shit like that.
That's so funny.
And all right, don't move. And then they pull the wife in with her big fur coat so she can identify her husband. And then he starts telling her, I messed, it wasn't their fault. It was She goes, but you were kidnapped and it was my fault. And then when he tells his wife, now you can see it, a part of her was pissed at him, like, you asshole, you didn't give raises this year? Bonuses, almost like she's like, yeah, man, like, motherfucker, you deserve this shit. What you mean you ain't getting bonuses?
Well, even remember the cop flips on him too, because the cop's like, man, that's cold, man. If I had a rubber hose, I would,
I know, like that. If I had a rubber hose, I would beat. Whoa, damn officer.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that was great. And not for nothing, we're gonna toss that in the movie. That was a big little statement there in the 80s, and you know, I mean, things were balanced, but hey, you didn't really see too many black lieutenants like that in the movie.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, listen, guys, it was out there at that time, not as big, you know?
Yep.
But that was dope. Now, with that rubber hole shit had me cracking up.
That was funny.
Damn, Chief, what we doing right now? And why are you even here, Chief? This is SWAT team.
Right. And then so after that, you know, everything kind of calms down. Everybody's out on the front lawn, kind of almost doing the Tiny Tim, like God blesses everyone situation. But then Uncle Louie, he's smoking that cigar because well, that's the thing that we skipped over. One of the classic parts of the movie, how we were talking about Eddie not being able to read the room. At some point, he's dumping all the waste and the shit through a tube from his RV into the sewer, right?
Shitter was full.
And Clark, shitter's full. And they do pepper in that, like, oh man, that stuff is flammable. So then later in it, like we said, after
right, because he was getting hints of smells of chemicals, and he's like, yes, some in the sewer line, some smells funny. He was smelling it throughout the movie.
And so after the hubbub, you know, like we said, Louis is always smoking the cigars, and then he tosses it, and there's the slow motion. No, and then boom,
Bruce Willis
blows his whole wig off.
Oh man, but I love that when they're having a good time inside, celebrating and dancing. He's got the burnt sweater on still, dancing around in the burnt sweater, like Uncle Lo, you're a fucking boss. Off the burnt sweater.
There's nothing like, I mean, because if there's a good wig, you won't notice. So there's nothing like a bad wig, you know? And he's got the fucked up hairpiece, and then he just you know, he blows off his hairpiece, and for some reason tries to put it back on all burnt, like nobody's gonna notice. When, hey man, if you're bald, you just gotta let it go, you know? Speaking from personal experience.
Sometimes just let it go, man. Because if all this lustrous goes, man, it's gonna go low.
You gotta let it go.
I'm not gonna be patchy.
Patch Adams.
Yeah, but all in all, man, this is probably one of the best ones out there, man. The comedy sense, the sense of people that like to hold on to traditions. Like you said, Christmas could mean many things. You can go into the history and dissect it if you want 100% and say nobody's celebrating the proper way. It's a religious Christianity. We get all that. But when you start talking about close relations to what is considered family to you and tradition and what important to you in this holiday season is a time to bring that out to me. And movies like this were key and still are key. So if you've never seen this movie and you're newer ears, man, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, man, I say it's
once again kind of like how we said with It's a Wonderful Life. This shit is a classic for a reason. This is something that you can watch every year for a reason, man. It's just, it's masterfully crafted. And at the end, it's just a nice, beautiful scene of then Clark is just kind of like looking up at the sky and taking it all in. And, you know, the credits roll. And it's
he said, I did it.
Yep.
He did. He finally achieved the Christmas spirit. I did it. He went to hell to get to the nice sauna over there. It's like, oh, man. But Clark Griswold, and he's been around. This family's been around for other movies too. National Lampoon's Family Vacation, which is another.
Too Many Vacations.
Right, yeah, which is another.
European Vacation, right?
European Vacation. But what Chevy Chase was only in like 3 of them, though, I think, right?
All I know is there was a different Russ in every.
Right. And shout out to the reboot of the Family Vacation. That was actually really good. Chevy Chase made a cameo. The guy from Hangover, the dentist.
Oh, yep.
He was Russ grown up.
Okay.
Yeah, now that was good. They actually did a good job, man. If you ever get a chance to see that one, man, the National Lampoon's Family Vacation, the remake, they did a good job on that one. I ain't gonna front. That was kind of a fish.
That's a cool way to take it too, you know, like you do Russ growing up with his family.
Yep, trying to hold on to the Griswold tradition, and it had his dad in there. Chevy he wasn't in the whole movie, but he made his couple cameos. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Him and the wife hanging and slanging.
But yeah, it looks like I think the 3 that they did were Damn, and that looks like that might have
Christmas.
been the last one, because it was
For
National
them.
Lampoon's Vacation,
Yep.
then European Vacation, then the Christmas Vacation.
Yep. And
Wow.
then everything else was, when all the new National Lampoons was like other people, but
Yep.
same National Lampoons series.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
man, so classic.
yeah.
And here's a another tidbit that I wanted to put out. It was about the when he was. Oh yeah, it's rumored that Clark's rant about his boss was ad-libbed when he did with the friggin', and they said this is somewhat true that he freestyled it.
Oh
However,
shit.
what the audience doesn't see is that each cast member of the film was facing Chevy and had a sign hanging around their neck that had one word written on it. And these were just some adjectives that Clark could use to describe his boss. So he kind of did like the freestyle with like who got the props type shit, I guess, to
Right,
where it was
right,
like,
right,
all right,
right,
there's a couple of words and I'm going to just go ahead and string them
right.
together. That's cool.
That is dope. That's that. He probably was great at improv. He probably was a lot of his Saturday Night Live shit was like that because that's big on that. You
Yep.
know what I mean? And most of those guys that are, I think he ended up being a writer or directing a couple joints himself, Chevy, and having that sense of knowing that timing and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Not every actor or every, comedian has those levels to them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not every actor could write a script
And even I couldn't imagine writing
or direct one.
a rant like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because that it seems more of
Yeah,
you'd
let that
almost have
flow.
to freestyle that. But of course, then I mean, somebody could write it down as
Somebody
well.
could write
It's
it and then you can get
that's some talent.
I need you to read this and then just exactly, You think about good rants in movies that people have scripted or maybe some didn't. Because, some like that guy can't freestyle like that. Denzel can't freestyle like that.
And then of course there is the nice little Easter egg of when Clark and Cousin Eddie are in the living room and they're drinking eggnog, they got the Wally World mugs, and that's from the National Lampoon's
Yep,
Vacation in
yep, yep, yep.
'83 when ooh,
Shout
that's
out
another
to
one.
shout out to the Tasmanian Cup. Those were fucking big in the '80s. I remember.
Yes, the
those, man.
Taz Cup.
I
Wow.
remember when he had that shit. I was like, man, I fucking remember that cup, man. If
Yep.
I didn't have it, I know somebody that did. I drank out of it. I know that much.
The Taz tattoo is always interesting too. I see people with Taz tattoos still, which I'm like, huh.
Taz was big in the '80s. There's a lot of like girls like around my age, our age. They're very Tazzy. They were very Tazzy. You know what I mean? A very very Tazzy generation. I remember my nephew's mother, my brother's first kid's mother. She was a Tazzy. I couldn't stand her, so I didn't like Taz as much at that time. But I know a lot of people that were into, oh yeah, Taz. I think my girl now was a big Taz fan. Like, just don't get the fucking teddy bears everywhere, even though I like the name.
Talk to him.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the spirit is alive with this one, man, and I'm glad I watched it this year because I usually like to watch it this time of year around this time. So
yeah, I'm glad that we did. And this was also interesting too that this movie, we never made it to Christmas. This is a Christmas movie that ends on Christmas Eve, which is not the norm. Lost him to the phone. Lost him to the phone.
that was to the. I'm sorry for the next appointment.
That's all good.
Net ready in 10.
But the this movie, it's a Christmas movie, but we never actually got to Christmas. That's interesting too.
Right.
Shit ends on Christmas Eve.
That ended on Christmas Eve. Holy shit,
yep.
You're right. We never got to the opening the gift or what happened in the closet.
Nothing.
In the attic with the fucking gift that he probably left again.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, that movie could have kept going on. You could have had a whole nother movie about
there could have been a part two.
Christmas Day to New Year's,
I know, right? When did Eddie actually leave?
Right, the month of Eddie. Yeah, right. A whole movie about Eddie living with him would have been a fucking movie on its own.
I know. That could have been a TV series.
Cousin Eddie. Just what you name that.
Stars.
Cousin Eddie on them niggas. They don't know.
Man, but yeah, like you said, there's a reason that this is a classic. There's a reason that you go into Target and they have these T-shirts, and I'm sure if you went into Hot Topic right now, they'd have all these T-shirts, and it's so classic. Even at BJ's, I saw that they had like the nightwear set of the T-shirt and the pants, for nice Christmas morning type outfits, and
yep. This is nostalgia.
So hopefully, if there's any young people that haven't seen it, oh man, just please watch it. Like we said, there's a reason that it's a classic. And
and if you're older, you have seen it and you haven't seen it in a while, do yourself a favor and reintroduce yourself. Your name is Hope.
True.
Telling you, get it back involved, man. If you can't find a spirit this year, which is really hard to 2020 to find a spirit in any holiday, and what's going on in the world and a lot of chaos, a lot of pandemicness. Try to stay spirited, people, in all avenues and all aspects, and especially this time of year when things can be lost. Find yourself.
True. Yeah, do something nice for yourself. You know, turn off the news for a minute. That's what we said on this podcast. We used to do a lot of the current news, and right now, I think some of the best thing you can do is, of course, keep yourself abreast to the situations.
Woke.
But man,
sorry,
there's no need to obsess on all that stuff, and I couldn't imagine just rehashing it and re-talking about it every day on this pod. So give yourself a little mental vacation. Watch the Christmas Vacation in your mind, because you're gonna like it. Listen, if you don't like this movie, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you got to figure out something else in your own life. All right, I'm not saying this has to be your favorite movie ever, but if you watch this movie and at the end you're just like,
I hate it. Yeah, come on.
There's something wrong with you, Jack.
Yeah, there's timeless movies, man. This is one of them.
Yes.
No matter what age frame you are, I can play this with my 10-year-old right now, and she'll love it, guarantee. I'll guarantee.
I guarantee.
Which is not a bad idea. I'm thinking I'm going to introduce it to it today.
You got to. Let me sit down here. Turn your phone off and watch this.
As we decorate the Christmas tree. We out.
Ooh,
give it to him. But put it on the background. It's because that was always the thing too. I remember decorating the tree, and the TV, something was on in the background, or music.
Gotta be.
It's either music or some audio or of a movie, which a classic movie. And my favorite part, hold on. You just stand there with the ornament in your hand. You know what I mean? Maybe it's the Grinch for y'all out there, whatever one it is for you. You know what I'm saying?
That's hilarious.
You know which one's always good, man? Those series, the 20-minute series of the little claymation joints. Santa.
Oh yeah. The Rudolph ones, yep.
Yeah, those are always a good throwback for people to try to get involved with.
Yep.
But
Truth.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna end off next week with one of the greatest classics of all time, I guess, where hands down is up there. I mean, I guess it depends on what era, because somebody from the 50s and 60s is gonna say It's a Wonderful Life, but I think what became so big, popular, commercialized, and blown up, and it just takes over your TV every Christmas day for the whole day on repeat, is The Christmas Story. You'll shoot your eye out. The Christmas Story, which also came out, I believe, in the 80s, correct? Was it
I'll look it up now, but I feel like it was before then, but maybe it was.
Yeah, it's either the 80s or the 70s. It might have been it might have been like 60s. Shit, now you're right. That might have been 60s, 70s.
Oh no, here we go. 83. Yep,
it was
83.
Okay, all right. Yep. So still the 80, but the time frame that it was set in was
a little bit before
83. Yeah, 70s or 60s or something. But yeah, man, that we're gonna end it off with that. Why not, man? That's a great one to capture that good spirit of it all. There's so many to choose from, so many. I mean, we can go on for a whole fucking year finding Christmas movies. Yeah. But we boiled down to some 4, and these were the 4 we chose for this run at it. And we're gonna end it off right with them, man. What about
that Red Ryder BB gun, dog?
Red Ryder, bro. So, because at the end of the day, my guys,
it's the beginning of the night,
and it's a holy night. That's coming.
Woo! Until next week.